Welcome to Economics 4.1. In this topic, we are going to talk about different types of competition in the market. We're going to talk about monopolies, oligopolies, monopolistic competition. There's several different types we're going to talk about. So in 4.1, we're going to talk about pure competition. And pure competition is a market structure in which a large number of firms produce the same product and no single seller controls supply or prices. This is also called perfect competition. Examples of that would be like bananas, water, gosh, and I just went blank, fruits and vegetables, meat, things like that. So there's a large number of firms and they're producing the exact same product. And usually those are our next term, which is commodity. Lots of people produce gasoline, and gas is gas. Milk, same thing. It's considered the same no matter who produces or sells it. Now, yes, we might have a preference for Shell versus Thornton's, or Purity Milk versus Publix, or vice versa. But if you're in need of milk, you're going to get milk, I mean, regardless of what the brand name is. Same thing with gas. If you're on empty, you're going to stop at the first gas station. Barriers to entry, this is going to be anything that makes it difficult for a new firm to enter the market. It could be startup costs. It could be, you can't get a loan. Anything. You don't have time. There's no location. Anything that makes it difficult for a new business to enter that market. And if we're not doing the conditions of perfect competition, then we call it imperfect. People selling things slightly different, and we'll get into the types of imperfect competition. And then you have startup costs. These are expenses that new businesses pay before it can even open its doors. I know when I had my business, I had to pay first and last month's rent. I had to pay huge deposits on utilities. I had to get an attorney to set up my LLC and get my tax numbers and all that. I hired an accountant. I had to start getting employees together. I had $20,000 worth of equipment that I needed to open the doors. So those were all startup costs. And, if you can't qualify for the loan, then that could be a barrier to entry. Now, when you decide to cook dinner, again, like let's just say spaghetti, if you've run out of noodles, do you run to the store and go, oh no, they didn't have the brand I wanted? No, you buy whatever noodles are there. Yes, if your brand's there, you pick it. The spaghetti noodles are spaghetti noodles. Milk is milk. Fruits and vegetables are fruits and vegetables. Commodities are things that are the same no matter who's producing it. And then they give this scenario here, like, why is buying a leather jacket, a car, a TV not as simple? Well, we'll talk about those later because those are monopolistic competition. They have slight variances that make them different, but a banana is a banana. Yeah, if it's the exact same quality, exact same size, we don't care who's selling it. It's a banana. Now, conditions for pure competition. There's many buyers and sellers. Here's the key. Identical products. It's identical. Informed buyers and sellers. So buyers and sellers are very, very informed about the product. And there's easy entry and exit into the market. Now, here would be an example, like if you wanted a digital camera, there's a wide variety of brands and models, wide variety of choices. And yes, this is a hallmark of competition, but this is not pure competition. Because even though it's a camera, do each one of them have different qualities about it that might make you pick one over the other? One might have better DPI, so it's priced higher, or has a greater memory, or a better lens, and things like that just make it better. So when we talk about pure competition, it can't be like the camera situation. Here we've got many firms making the exact same product. Exact same. There's no variety of it. No, it's one. There's not banana varieties. It's banana. You could argue apples have varieties. They do. They have different flavors. Broccoli is broccoli. Zucchini, zucchini. Barriers to entry, there are none. But with that, and this is probably the most negative thing about pure competition, is no one has control over prices. And we're going to learn that the firm that can operate with the lowest cost is going to set the price, because they're going to be at the lowest price because they can run their company very cheaply. Again, we talked about barriers to entry. Startup costs can be one of them. Technology, if you have like really expensive technology or unique computers, things like that, that can affect you. Here's an example of like a movie production company or maybe even TV. This is not an easy entry into this market. I mean, those look expensive. And sure, you might be able to get a loan and pay payments, but can you qualify for a loan for that amount of money? Those look high dollar. Yeah, it's kind of like farming. If you need a combine, there's $750,000. Can you just quickly get into farming? Maybe not. So one of the best characteristics of a purely competitive market or pure competition is they are very efficient. They are very, very efficient at allocating resources, as well as keeping prices and costs low. So businesses, in order to compete, they've got to keep their operating costs low, and they've got to use them to their best potential. Because if not, if their costs are high and the price is low, they're going to take a loss. So they have no control over the price. They want to keep their costs as low as possible to make as big of a profit as they can. And when you're in a purely competitive market or pure competition, the prices correctly represent opportunity costs of each product, because it's at the lowest price. And here's what happens under pure competition. So we've already talked about competition is good for us as consumers. It drives prices down. So competition is going to force these suppliers to keep prices near each other. Because if one's up here and one's down here, you're going to this guy. But if they're close, now the most efficient supplier sets the lowest price. This one probably has low operating costs. Maybe their rent is lower. You know, one's in Nashville, one's in Hendersonville, rent's cheaper. I don't know. That's just a scenario. So they can set a lower price and still make this much profit, where this guy's right here. Well, let's put it here. So this competing firm's not going to get any business unless they lower their price down here to the other company. People are going to say, no, I'm not going there. You can get it cheaper at so-and-so, at Walmart. So then what's going to happen when that one company has to lower down to here and they're not making much profit? They've got two choices. They can try to get their expenses lower to make profit, or they may say, you know what? I don't want to sell that anymore. I'm not making any money. And that is the end of 4.1. See you for 4.2.